Hello everyone, I'm Dominic and I teach relationships. So I share my perspectives on relationships and how you can have the relationships that you want. And the big part of that to having the relationships that you want and to have fulfilling relationships or whatever it is that you want in life. That's what I teach. I teach things that you want in life, but this is a relationship advice channel. Yes, for now that is. That's the goal. So a big part of that is learning. Learning is very important when you are trying to get somewhere, when you are trying to do anything. You have to learn new things to be able to do it well. And learning, as I said, is a big part in getting anything that you want. So you have to learn new things. And when it comes to learning, what's most important is I've been talking about this in the past, I think, two videos. This has all been about learning and how you can get what you want in life. And main part of that is your state, what state you're in. Let's take an example. Let's say you want to start your own business, right? Then let's say all you do is spend time watching Netflix. That's all you do is spend all your time watching Netflix. But from there, from you watching Netflix, would you be inspired to start your own business? Would you be inspired to do anything but just sit there and just like watch Netflix? No, you won't. What you have to do is you have to get up. You have to change your state from having one that you're relaxed in to have one where you kind of motivated and you want to work on this thing. It's the same with when you're laying in bed, right? You're laying in bed, then you're like, today what? I don't feel like waking up. Like I don't. It's because you are in bed the entire time. Like in bed. If you get up, usually when you get up from bed, you'll be like, what was I talking about? Like I was wrong. Like you getting out of bed actually gets you moving. Once you start to get moving, you just want to do more and more and more and want to do like things that you set out to do. So this is what it comes down to when it comes to relationships. It's about changing your state. First of all, you just gotta get out of bed. That's kind of like the metaphor. Get out of bed, like get out of your way of thinking, of saying, oh yeah, I can't do this. Oh no, this won't work. No, get out of there. You gotta get out of there and try and start to get moving. Start to do things. Start to test things. Shit, my English today, God. Start to test out things. Start to test out things slowly but surely. If it makes sense to you, get up. Get out of bed, test it out, test if it works for you. That's the only way to find out that it's going to work for you, and that the only way that it is actually going to work for you is if you test it out, instead of saying no, that's not for me, it won't work. That whole mindset, that whole state will never work if you want to get the relationship that you are happy with. It will never work if you want to get to somewhere else that you are not currently at in the moment, which is the whole goal, is to improve and get to somewhere which you are not at the moment. So, and for that, you need to change your state. You need to change your ideas. You need to change everything in order for you to be in a place where you are more fulfilled, in a place where you are doing more, in a place where you are working more, doing everything that is required of you to get to where you want to get. So, with that, change your state. Get out of bed. You know what? Get out of bed. Start to get moving. Start walking around. Start walking around. Go for a run. Here's the thing you can do about that. You can start to practice these things. You can start to play around with the idea of changing your state. This is what I did in the beginning when I needed to change my state and how I see things. I got out of bed. I'm like, oh, I don't feel like getting out of bed. It's like, you know what? Let me test this out. Let me test how true this is. Let me test how true me saying I don't want to get out of bed and I can't get out of bed. Let's see how true that is. So I experimented with that. So sometimes I would not feel like doing work. Then you're like, you know what? Let me test this out. Let me test how true this is. So I would always experiment with it. And once I got started with work, or like getting down and writing something, writing a post, which I didn't feel like, let's say 20 minutes ago, like 20 minutes into it, I'm so about it. I was like, you know what? I can do this. Like I can finish this. So that's the whole point. It's like you gotta get your foot in there. You gotta get started. You just gotta get started. It doesn't matter how you feel. You might like literally every single time that I felt like, no, I can't really do this today. The moment I started, everything changed completely. Like I was in a whole different space. I put on some good music, then I'm there writing like a crazy madman. But like 20 minutes ago, I was like, no, I'm not in the same state. I'm not in the right mindset to write this thing. Like I was like, not today, not today. But I was like, you know what? let me test it out. So it's always about experimenting with things, applying this whole idea of like changing your state, getting out of bed. That's the whole point. Getting out of bed, challenge it, challenge your ideas, challenge your ideas, change them, see how far they are true, see how they are limiting you. And once you understand it, and once you can kind of apply it to everything that you do, then you realize, like, you know what, I've always been wrong this entire time. I'm like, then after that you start to challenge all your ideas that you have about everything else, because that's the whole point. You gotta challenge your ideas to see how true they are, because most of them are limiting you. They are straight up limiting you. They don't help you at all. But because you don't challenge them and you don't like see how true they are, you don't actually realize how much they are limiting you, which you need to do, which I do every single day. I tell myself, Dominic, I can't do this. I'm like, let me see how true that is. Let me see how true that is. That's the whole point to this. It's about trying, challenging, putting yourself out there, getting out of your comfort zone, everything that you need to get to where you want to get. These things are not taught in school. Like this, they should be taught in school. These are like important lessons that should be taught, but they aren't. That's like the weirdest thing. They teach you about maths and all these other things that doesn't really help you when you need to do something and get somewhere in life. So that's what it comes down to when you want to improve and you want to get the type of relationship that you do want and that you are happy with, which is changing your state. This is what this whole thing is about. It's about changing your state. And when you now think about it, just think, get out of bed. Get out of bed. Then whenever you get out of bed, you feel different. So whenever you think about like, oh no, I can't do this, just think back to like, Dominic said what? Get out of bed. So that's your job. You just need to get out of bed, because once you get out of bed, everything else is gonna be fine. You're just gonna keep moving. And once you start get the ball rolling, just like I talked about in my last video, once you start getting the snowball rolling, it just works on its own. Everything just works. Everything just works, and your entire mood changes. It's just like when you go into the gym. This is like the last example. I love using examples whenever I'm talking about anything, because that's the only way you can actually get something across. Is to use something you can relate to. Let's say you're working out. Like, you don't feel like working out. Like, not today, what? I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like working out, but as soon as you get into that gym, as soon as you start doing like one rep, then you start feeling it, then you start getting pumped. You're like, you know what? What was I talking about? Like, I was wrong this entire time. I thought I couldn't do this, but here I am doing this thing. And you actually do everything that you need to do from start to finish. And that's it. And at the end of the day, you have done it. That's it. It doesn't take hours. It doesn't take flipping the whole day. No, it just takes a couple of minutes. It takes a second. It just takes starting. So do whatever I'm teaching here, which is going to be coming soon. I'm talking about how I'm going to bring in information and things that you can actually use to get where you want. But yeah, it is coming soon. But when I want to bring it out, I want to make sure that you are at least at a place where you kind of understand some of the concepts behind it, some of the mindset that you need to get where you want to get. So yes, this is me, saying bye. And if you enjoy and liked what I talked about today, just press that like button if you liked it, and subscribe and join me on this journey where I'm also figuring things out about myself and learning from you guys, which is the one of my main point, which is to have a conversation with you, and you also learning about yourselves. Everything is about learning about yourself, and relationship is a big part of that. It's about you, your partner, and you communicating to your partner who you are, and your partner communicating who they are to you. So you know what, bye and enjoy, and I really hope you take this lesson and actually apply it into your lives, and test it out every single day, challenge it, see what it means to you.